Hey you, stop scrolling. Welcome to another episode of Glass Caviar. Today we'll be discussing the lawsuit against Coinbase and Binance against the SEC. We'll be going over our portfolio and seeing where we're at in the markets, and we'll also be analyzing how this is all affecting the markets. I want you all to take a look at this interview with Caitlin Ostroff. She's a crypto enthusiast and she's a writer and editor with the Wall Street Journal. So she'll be going more in depth with the Coinbase and Binance lawsuit against the SEC.
Binance and Coinbase. Caitlin Ostroff covers cryptocurrencies for the Journal and explains the latest showdown between federal regulators and the industry's biggest players.
Binance is an international crypto exchange that was founded in 2017. The Securities and Exchange Commission sued Binance, saying that it was operating an illegal securities exchange in the US. And in doing so, it sued not just Binance's US entity and its global entity, but also Changpeng Zhao, who is the founder of Binance. In its lawsuit, the SEC said that Binance was offering tokens that were actually securities and that those were not registered as such. And because of that, Binance was basically operating a sort of black market for tokens that they were not supposed to be allowed to let users trade. The SEC also really dug into a lot of Binance's operations. Two of the firms that the SEC zeroed in on in the Binance complaint were called Merit Peak and Sigma Chain. These are two market makers that were owned and operated by Zhao, Binance's founder and CEO. And the SEC said that Sigma Chain, one of these so-called market-making firms which buys and sells cryptocurrencies, was doing that on Binance US, but trading a lot of the same funds. And so basically making it look like there was a bunch more trading than there actually was. They also say that there was the risk of funds being commingled on Binance US through the Merit Peak entity. And so they're saying that because of those two entities, users weren't fully aware of what was happening with their funds and what was potentially happening in the background. Binance has said that it intends to defend the platform vigorously. It has vehemently denied that there was ever any risk to customer funds, that it commingled assets. Not even a day later, there was a separate lawsuit that the SEC handed down against Coinbase, the largest US exchange. In their lawsuit against Coinbase, the SEC is saying that it also traded assets that should have been registered as securities, and because of that, Coinbase was operating an illegal securities exchange as well. In response to the charges, Coinbase has called for there to be more specific legislation regarding cryptocurrencies in Washington, D.C., and has said that it's going to continue to engage with legislators to actually get that legislation through Congress. So for Binance, the SEC is seeking for Zhao and his companies to not be able to do business in the US. It seems more likely that this litigation is going to drag out for a while. Unlike the Department of Justice, which can issue criminal charges, the SEC can really only do civil charges. At most, you could be looking at either a settlement or, if a judge rules in the SEC's favor, a monetary fine. Crypto has grown exponentially from when it was created and worth basically nothing in 2009, 2010 to where we are now, where it's a $1 trillion industry. The recent escalation in enforcement from the agency has certainly caught people's attention, and it does seem like they're starting to really go after not just small companies and projects as they have in the past, but really the biggest companies in the ecosystem.
This affects the market tremendously because of the tokens that everyone has in their wallets. If overturned, the restructuring of tokens as security could be significant in the industry. As you take a look here, the markets have not changed much. I have not purchased any new tokens yet, but I am looking into this coin called DubX, and I would love to get a Bored Ape wallet on sale. Here's our address just to go more in depth with our portfolio. It shows the value of other altcoins that we have here. This is why I like looking at Etherscan to check the portfolio. A lot of professionals and speculators are seeing a very bullish market happening here soon. As we look more into our altcoins, I actually put $25 in this bank coin, and it has gone up to $141. Thank you all for tuning in today. If you learned anything, feel free to like, share, and follow. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. That concludes another episode of Glass Caviar.